I remember she kind of like leaned over like this and looked at me, and she's like, "I'm sorry, Andrea. I'm gonna have to fail you for this."
Oh, shit.
And I remember the second that woman said the word "fail," you know what happened? I farted. Like I lost, like loud, like every bit of my body. Like I lost
Barbie
muscle
farted
control
at the thought of failing a course.
I was like, what the actual fuckity fuck did you just say? Like, is this a bad joke?
Was it loud? Could you hear it?
It was loud, and I'm not gonna lie, like it had some punch. Like when
Odoriferous?
you're that, it's like I think you turn into a skunk. Like when you're, it's like, you know, when they're
Love that
scared.
so much.
So imagine.
Okay, pause. Everybody knows that we're married. And everybody you should know
You're not.
that,
you wouldn't do this.
No,
you wouldn't.
Andrea likes to pass gas and fart. It's kind of her thing. Okay? Here is our life scenario. Picture we are together in an elevator. I'm just like, whatever, push the button. And we're like, we're going on an elevator. She lets one rip. Doors open. Somebody walks in, stands in, goes, they always fucking look at me.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
I do really bank on that.
So unfair.
It's accurate, and I do that. I set you up. But to be fair, you do the same shit on a plane, and that's crazy because we're gonna be trapped in that little metal box flying through the sky for I don't know how long, and you just cut it with like, and it's obvious. It's coming straight from you. Okay, people are looking. They're about to vomit.
That's biology. I drink
So is mine.
soda. You go up in a plane as often as I go. The air bubbles expand. It happens. You want me to blow up?
I don't want you to blow up.
You want me to blow up or you want me to let them get... If the choice was your husband could be splayed along the walls of this airplane or let the gas out, what would you do?
That's why
I'd let the gas out. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I let it out?
You want me to die?
The mediocre dentist. The mediocre dentist. Cause sometimes you just feel mediocre. The mediocre dentist. The mediocre dentist. I am mediocre, you are mediocre, and that's not that bad.
Start off with the best day in dental school.
Best day in dental school. I've repressed a lot of the memories, it would seem, because the bad one sticks out, which is typically how it goes, right?
Worst day in dental school.
Worst day in dental school, hands down. I can see her in front of me, and we can't name names because now we're not talking positively.
Use fake names to protect the guilty.
Nadia Jelansky.
What the fuck?
I don't fucking know. You put me on the spot, and
I'm literally gonna get sued by Nadia Jelansky.
My heart. I'm thinking about this person who evoked this very strange, very negative response in me, and I'm back there now, and now I can't think of a name on the fly. So
during dental school, did you ever feel mediocre?
Yes, I did feel mediocre.
I felt mediocre all the time.
I think I felt below mediocre at times.
Below mediocre. Tell me the worst day in dental school.
Worst day in dental school had nothing to do with clinical or anything like that. It was in second year. And this is when we were still like doing stuff with the med students, and we did this thing called problem-based learning. Okay, so effectively they would create like
such a woke Canadian bullshit course.
Bullshit, absolute.
Fuck me.
No, but it was
seriously problem. What do you call it?
Problem-based learning.
PBL-based learning. See, back in the day, they'd be like, "What's this?" And you'd be like, "Diabetes." What's this? Caries.
No, they would take
problem-based learning. What a woke
we would
piece of shit way to learn.
Well,
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we're you kind of like work your way through medical conditions because not every person presents and you're like, you got that. Sometimes it's more complicated than that. So it takes you on this journey and you learn a lot about different diseases along the way. And you learn how to kind of think on the fly and think like a clinician. I thought it was actually good.
Why can't Mary brush her teeth? Because she has osteoporosis and she can't hold the toothbrush.
Dude,
you passed.
Dude, we weren't doing anything about it. Wasn't dentistry. It was medicine. Bullshit. It was like clinical. It was pharmacology. It was all sorts of things. Listen.
Why does this guy have no teeth? Because he's a fucking meth addict like that?
teeth rarely got brought into the equation. I'm not gonna lie.
Not even teeth.
It was a stretch when they did, and they would like.
Oh, because you had
occasionally-
met. This guy presents with a fever and a rash on his
Yeah,
eye,
no, but it would
and
take you down a few things.
he
It was
only
when
makes
like
left
Grey's
turns.
Anatomy was going down, so
God.
like we were literally, I think, like following a little bit the
Oh my
trajectory
God.
of that show.
Now looking back, you're like, huge waste of time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, not necessarily a waste of time, but we had these tutors that kind of like ran the show, and they would kind of keep you on task, okay, or keep you on point, and they would judge us. It wasn't like a percentage-based thing, but like in terms of your preparation, in terms of how you presented to the group.
What were the grades?
Professionalism. Honors, so like H, P, so pass. I think there was a P plus or a P minus, and then fail. Okay, so that preparation aside, I like this was like my jam. You got to study things in advance. You could come prepared. You could write down all your little notes and just come ready to like talk about like, I don't know, medical school geek stuff. Like I loved it. I loved sciences. So I enjoyed it. And we had like, at that point, our class was tight. We got along famously. There was no real competitive thing. We hadn't gotten into clinic yet. So we were busy partying, playing hockey and learning how to salsa dance. And med school on the side. So, you know, we had like a pretty good vibe, but people knew that like I was a bit of a dork and I prepared a lot. And I don't know, maybe at times it's like a little bit, not show offy, but like, I have
You're
no
the
idea.
hot dork.
No one ever called me the hot dork. But anyway, so this, and the tutor that I had for this particular block, okay, everyone knew that she was the hard ass. And she was a little cutthroat, and she had, you really had to kiss her ass day one, just make sure that you were going to even like kind of get through it unscathed. And so I came into that and I was ready. I understood the assignment, and I thought that I was going to organically be able to impress her because I did come prepared and I did contribute. And
because you're blonde.
What does this have to
And
do when it's like,
beautiful. Okay,
okay,
sorry,
fine, whatever. You digress.
You're not
I
used to
digress.
getting people's judgment. Just saying, in general, people try to impress you.
Ooh,
not the
this
other
one
way
did,
around.
though. This one did. It can go both ways.
Let's hear the
No,
story.
no. I just want to say it can go both ways.
Of course. It can.
When people can sometimes. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to.
Let's not
to prove
digress.
this for you. Okay, so everything's going smashingly. She and we hit it off straight out the gate. I'm arriving early. Okay, it's like a 2-hour window. Starts at 8 to 10, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm showing up at like 7:30. We're shooting the shit. I'm like, I feel like we're like. We're buddies even. And I was like, I don't know what people were saying about this lady. She's a bit of all right. I kind of enjoy her. And I remember there was this one time she asked me, she said, like, how's everything going? Like this like second year in med school, like it is no joke. Like this is hard. And for whatever reason, I felt compelled to say to her, I'm actually feeling like it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
And that answer, I think, if I'm like, I'm doing like the
answer.
forensics and I come back at that was the wrong answer.
Because she did dental school second year 4 times.
I don't think that she did. But what she wanted me to do, she wanted like humble pie. She wanted me to be like, this is like the hardest thing I've ever done.
And instead you're like, I'm kicking ass.
I got braggy, and I'm not typically that way, but whatever comfort I had established with her, I was honest. And after that, I noticed that there was something different, but I was like, people have bad days. And it was like kind of towards the last half of it. Everything's fine. Nobody's saying nothing. And then on the last week of that section, she says at the beginning of class, of the problem-based learning thing, she says, Andrea, I'd like you to stay behind afterwards. I'd love to talk to you about something.
To give you an award for being so good.
That is what everybody...
You should probably be an instructor next year, because I think you said tutor, but we in America would translate as instructor, right, Sean? Right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So anyways, all that. Yeah. So in fact, the people in my group, and I remember Matt, am I allowed to say names? Matt. He had come to me, he's like, I bet she's going to just tell you like how awesome you are and how great you're doing and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, thank you. I nailed this.
Because nobody has ever told Barbie that she is bad till this point in your life.
Plenty of people have, but
Okay.
let's go with the script that's in your head. Anyways, this lady sits me down at the end, and I'm ready to receive like awards, as you say. And I'm sitting comfortably, and I'm like, what are we gonna talk about? And she I remember she kind of like leaned over like this and looked at me, and she's like, "I'm sorry, Andrea. I'm gonna have to fail you for this."
Oh, shit.
And I remember the second that woman said the word "fail," you know what happened? I farted. Like I lost, like loud, like every bit of my body. Like I lost
Barbie
muscle
farted
control
at the thought of failing a course.
I was like, what the actual fuckity fuck did you just say? Like, is this a bad joke?
Was it loud? Could you hear it?
It was loud, and I'm not gonna lie, like it had some pun. Like when you're
Odoriferous?
that, it's like I think you turn into a skunk. Like when you're, it's like, you know, when they're
Love that
scared.
so much.
So imagine.
Okay, pause. Everybody knows that we're married. And everybody you should know
You're not.
that,
you wouldn't do this.
No,
you wouldn't.
Andrea likes to pass gas and fart. It's kind of her thing. Okay. Here is our life scenario. Picture we are together in an elevator. Just like, whatever, push the button. And we're like, we're going on an elevator. She lets one rip. Doors open. Somebody walks in, stands in, goes, they always fucking look at me.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
I do really bank on that.
So unfair.
It's accurate, and I do that. I set you up. But to be fair, you do the same shit on a plane, and that's crazy because we're gonna be trapped in that little metal box flying through the sky for I don't know how long, and you just cut it with like, and it's obvious. It's coming straight from you.
Okay,
people are looking. They're about to vomit.
That's biology. I drink
So is mine.
soda. You
No.
go up in a plane as often as I go.
you know-
The air bubbles expand. It happens. You want me to blow up?
I don't want you
You
to
want me
blow
to
up.
blow up or you want me to let
No,
them get?
I want-
If the choice was your husband
No.
could be splayed
No.
along the walls of this
Wait.
airplane or let the gas out, what would you do?
That's why
I'd let the gas out.
Do
I'm
you
like,
know
I'm
why I
sorry.
let it out?
You want
Do
me to die?
No, I don't want you to die, but I also want to be like free will.
My
I want to fart. I want to
passing
fart
gas-
too. I hate that as a woman, I'm discriminated if I choose to fart. I am very open about it. Yes, I do. I set you up in elevators.
Have you
That
ever
is fun.
farted while working on a patient?
No, but I used to have a hygienist who openly would fart and had no qualms about it. So it's a thing. They're like right there. They're like right in your lap. I will not fart on a head.
What if it was like, what if you felt it?
If I felt it coming, excuse my sorry ass. And I have done that once actually. I walked my ass outside, I let it rip, and I came back in and I participated in the restorative exercise.
Huh. Yeah, that's a pretty bad day in dental school.
It was an awful day.
That's
So
a dental.
imagine
that's a
that it
dental
doesn't
school day.
stop there because now I'm like, okay, I'm doing the quick maths in my head. If I failed that, I fail second year, I get to pay another, at the time it's like $50,000, $60,000 just because this bitch read me so wrong, or she didn't like that I was having an okay go of second year. Because the truth is that we're getting marked on whatever it is. And even if
I don't think that's a problem. I think
Yeah.
the problem is the embarrassment of failing the most woke bullshit cartoon
Yeah,
course
that's
in all 4 years.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to tell you my worst day in dental school.
Okay, give it to me.
Here we go. For all our listeners. And if you had a bad day in dental school, please email us at themediocredentist@gmail.com. We want to read it. We'll read it online because honestly, we don't
We'll
really
get
know
on
what we're
Insta.
doing in this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
We're just making it up as we
Pick your own
go.
adventure.
Okay, it's first year dental school.
Yeah.
We're in this thing called pre-clinic, which you didn't have, which was 18 months of learning how to use dental instruments on typodont teeth. And it started on Monday, and they were like, use this white powder,
Yeah.
mix it up in a bowl, in a
Okay.
green bowl, swirl
kind
your
of white
hands as
powder?
fast as possible, load it in the tray. That was day one. That was just mix
I
alginate,
understand. Yeah, okay.
put
Alright,
it
you
in
said
a tray.
white powder, and I
No-
was like, what
no-
were you guys
no
doing
bubbles.
in Philly? Okay.
first 5
Right.
bubbles in it. Can't
Okay.
get the bubbles out.
Yeah.
Till you learn how to like whip
Whip
your
it.
hand.
Yeah.
Whip your hand.
It's all in the wrist.
Whip your hand.
Yeah.
See, no bubbles. Okay, I get an impression.
I
No
always
bubbles.
figured that guys like would have a competitive advantage with this.
Yeah, no guys go like this.
Maybe it's a move. I don't know.
I take the alginate. Finally, I pull it. Teeth missing, teeth mumble jumbled, nothing. First 6.
Yeah.
The room looks like Halloween for ghosts.
Yeah,
There's
I know.
white powder everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone has white powder on their face.
Yeah.
We went through thousands of cans of alginate that day.
Okay.
Finally, I get an impression that works. They check it off.
Wow.
Come back tomorrow. Now you got to pour it up in stone.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if they still do this, but this is how I do it.
Yeah.
You mix yellow garbage together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you got to put it on a shaker.
Yeah, get those
You got to
bubbles
put it
out.
on a shaker. And
Yeah.
the shaker, you got to get the bubbles
Shake
out.
that shit out. Yeah.
Problem is,
Yeah.
you leave it on the shaker too long,
Yeah.
it sets,
Sets.
won't pour in.
Yeah.
Pour it in too quick, too many
Too
bubbles.
many bubbles. Yeah.
Let's fast
Solve
forward
that
Tuesday,
riddle.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that was another 16 hours to that.
Okay.
By Wednesday afternoon, I have stone models inside alginates. Now it's time to open up the models.
I think
First
I know
day.
where this is gonna go.
Buffalo knife, buffalo knife. I'm like, that's enough for the morning. Come back. Buffalo knife, but I'm like, this thing's not opening. I give it to the instructor. He goes, hey, let me see this. Boom! Breaks off the teeth.
Oh shit.
Breaks off the teeth right in the alginate.
They don't
Back
care.
to square one.
Yeah, they don't care.
Back to
Yeah.
fucking square one. 10 people in the
They
room.
meant to
already
do it.
done.
Yeah.
Already done.
Yeah.
Goodbye, we're leaving. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess I'm not going to be a dentist.
Yeah. Little
I
did
go
they
back,
know 3D
realginate,
printing's coming.
re-pour, reprint,
Yeah.
yellow, back to that stage. It must be like midnight Wednesday. I'm the only one in the clinic. Open it up.
You're
I got the
sweating.
stone models
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Now they're like, we're going to mount these on a Hano articulator. So let me take you, Mr. Jewish young man who ain't ever held plaster in his whole life.
What did being Jewish have anything to do with
what am I
it?
going to do with plaster? What am I, some Gentile who knows how to plaster things around the house? I've
Do you think
never
that
built
we're
any-
just taught that?
Yeah,
Like there's some
I think-
secret school we
I think
go
in church they teach you how to plaster and build wood projects, okay? Because we didn't ever have that. So I don't know how to
wow.
plaster shit.
Okay.
So I have to plaster the models onto the Hano articulator,
Uh-huh.
and then they have to occlude. And the plaster is fucking everywhere. It's all over the whole thing is covered in plaster. I think you got to chip it away.
Yeah.
Chip
I
it
know.
away. And we got to smoothen out the models. And
Oh, they gotta be, yeah.
on Friday, like 2
And
o'clock.
the sheen, did you put like the soap on at the end? It was a
Friday,
beautiful
2
thing.
o'clock, everyone's presenting the Hanau mounted articulating models from Monday morning, 8 a.m. So she comes over and everyone's
Mm-hmm.
checking off, starting their weekend, going to the bar to drink. And she comes over to mine and I got it. I cleaned it up. I polished everything.
Yeah.
Just whatever. Like the anterior teeth just don't touch perfectly.
Okay.
And she likes slamming it together.
ballpark or-
slamming it together. It's whatever. You can tell
Yeah,
the person's
okay.
teeth.
Okay.
And she go, huh, that's weird. I don't know why it's like that. And I was like, oh, well, that's the way it is. I'll follow the instructions perfectly. And she goes, well, let's try it
problem
again.
here.
We still have some time. She takes the maxillary arch.
Yeah.
She breaks it off the Hano articulator, off the plaster, throws it in the garbage. We're talking 72 hours of
your
work.
life.
72 hours of work. And she goes, why don't you just take another alginate of the maxillary arch?
Square
and I
one.
went, and I fainted.
Lights out.
Fainted. Fell
Lights
flat
the
on
fuck
the
out.
I saw black and then I fainted. And she freaked out because she had never seen someone faint.
You're
But she
delicate.
did not realize that that was 5 days of my life in
That had
that
been
upper
poured into
maxillary
that, no
arch.
pun intended.
Now looking back, I understand that this
Yeah.
is a trivial dental exercise. But in the moment,
That was your life flashing before
my
your
whole
eyes.
life, and I
Yeah.
fainted. And when I came to, all the instructors were over me, and they were like, "Oh my god, do you have diabetes?" I was like, "No, I don't." They're like, "Do you need insulin or something?" I was
Oh
like,
my
"No,
God.
this bitch just broke
Yeah.
off my maxillary
Oh, I hope
arch,
you said
and
that.
it took me 5 days to do it,
And
and I
wants me to
ain't
start
fucking
from-
doing it again." Okay, I'll sooner become a garbage man than do that. I will drop out of this school right now. Okay, I'll go to the medical school and they appreciate me. I'll learn how to dissect a wrist or something.
Okay, tough talker. How tough? You actually tough talked, or did they pity you so much that they're just like, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I don't want to see you puke. I don't want to see you pass out again. We'll give you a pass."
She said, "You can go home. It's okay. I'll give you a check." And that was it. I went home.
Okay.
That was it.
Wow.
And I
Ivy
went
League
home.
school. I don't know.
went home.
What's
I went home, and
Okay.
everybody there, like
Everyone
I was,
judged you?
I was
Everyone
like,
felt a
I
little
was
bit
for
better
like a
about
couple of
themselves.
weeks.
yeah.
I was like the kid in
Mhm.
college whose roommate committed suicide, and you get perfect A's for a couple of years. Have you ever heard that one?
No.
Like if your roommate, Sean, if your roommate in college commits suicide, you ever hear that one? Okay, you can Google that. If your roommate in college commits suicide,
Yep.
you get straight A's for I think 2 or 3 semesters, no matter what you do. It's like an unwritten rule.
I think you absolutely just made that up. I mean, it's a terrible topic. but I could appreciate it.
So
You're not going to recover quickly
all the
from
instructors were like a little bit nervous. I was like, is that the fainter?
Oh, you got labeled. You got dubbed.
I was like, the fainter?
So were they?
But then some people were like,
gentle on you.
But he's also number 2 in the class. He's really smart. So just don't piss him off with clinical. Maybe he'll be a really good dental school professor one day.
Oh my gosh.
That was my worst day in dental school.
Okay, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Did you hurt yourself, concussion, anything like that? Or it was just lights out, just shame?
Just shame.
Okay.
Which then turned into glory because they never really, for the next like 6 months, they just let me be.
Okay, that's nice. A little
with
pass.
my mediocre dentistry.
Touche. Okay.
So you go through dental school. We get to the patient part of dental school, seeing patients.
Slightly different times for the two of us, it would seem.
And now a word from this episode's sponsor. I know we swore we would not have sponsors, but the money was too good and we sold out.
Today's episode is sponsored by Overjet. Do you know what Overjet is?
Yeah, that's known as space between your top front teeth and the bottom.
Overjet is the name of a company that can read your x-rays and tell you what is real and what is not. You know the most popular thing I see with dentists? 8:30 in the morning,
Yes.
everyone's got a class 2.
Everyone's got it. Oh, everyone's got a class 2 filling.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I went into malocclusions. I'm like, how'd you see that? How to diagnose that?
No. At 8:30 in the morning, you look at bite wings, you're like,
Yes.
you got 3 cavities.
Yes.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, you look at same x-rays, you're like, we're going to put a
watch
on it. You're completely inconsistent. Hell, we have 2 associates.
Yep.
You and me, 2 associates, 4 different treatment plans.
Yep. This keeps it standardized.
Nothing standardized. Overjet is a company that has a software. It will read your x-rays for you and go, Doc, this is a caries. This is a watch. This is incipient. This needs a root canal.
This is severe bone loss.
Read the x-rays, read the Panorex, tell you what it is. This is how the medical community works anyway. You think the medical community works through a CT scan? They look at every part? No. They have a software on the CT scan that says, look here, this part's the problem. Dentists, we need to standardize our x-rays the way we do it. Overjet. Check out more information on the Mediocre Dentist website or the AACA website or this link that Sean just put up.
Are we sold out? Well, we sold out.
And we're back with our favorite segment of the show that we call the DATs. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Chelsea Mortel-Patisme from Seattle-ish area, Washington. Good to have you on the show. Are you ready to take the DATs?
Yes.
Well, here at the Mediocre Dental Podcast, the DAT stands for the Dental Anxiety Test. Let's see if you have some anxiety. Let's see if some days, sometimes you feel like you are a
Mediocre dentist.
Now, for those who don't know, Dr. Chelsea is one of the most respected people in the American Academy of Clear Aligners. She is the ClinCheck Marshal. She has expertise. I want to say fellowship. Well-respected, well-rounded. At the peak performance, had 800 dental offices in Seattle. 6 dental offices in Seattle. Even though she's youngish, running 6 offices, doing dentistry, leading dentist associates, coming, going, virtual care, cutting edge dentistry, unbelievable. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. What year did you graduate dental school?
2012.
2012. Now, I know some of this, so this is going to be my favorite segment of the show. Sometimes you go to sleep. And do you ever dream you are back in dental school?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I know some of this, but we're going to open up some worms here. Worst day in dental. Forget the let's just remember, before Chelsea
Is this
starts
for
sharing.
calling out people?
No,
We don't want to get
we
sued.
cannot get sued.
Okay.
But Chelsea, at this moment, is one of the most successful dentists in Washington State, almost history. Right?
Totally.
But tell us about that terrible day in dental school.
They had done assigned a bridge prep to us on typodont teeth, and we had to make a temporary out of jet acrylic.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you guys
I
remember
remember this
that?
day.
Okay. And so the night before, I'd bought like 25 teeth, and it was a PFM bridge prep. Like, I think it was either 6 through 8 or like 9 through 11 or something. Yeah, something like that. And I was prepping it, and I like could not do the PFM prep. It was one of the first times we've been doing PFM preps, and I couldn't do it, and I kept like ditching the margin out, and I couldn't figure out how to get it to like, I don't know, I just couldn't. So I went through like 25 teeth, and then the store was closed because it was like midnight, right? So I'm like, well,
Mentally prepare.
like this
Visualize the margin.
right? And I couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, do I just not do the assignment, or do I like make a really crappy temp bridge to this really shitty margin? Like, what do I do here? So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do the assignment, right? Because like I said, do the assignment, and like clearly I'm gonna fail the prep, but like maybe I can like make a bridge to this. So I did, and it was, I mean, for jet, it was okay, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I bring it in, and I was really struggling with this prep, and this was really stressful, and I was here till like midnight, and there were like paired graders. There was one who was like a nice old man, and there was one who was a recent grad, horrible human.
Yes.
Still to this day, my friends also have their worst day dental school from this woman.
Woman. I knew she was going to say woman. I
Woman.
knew she was going to say
And she
it.
was so close in our, like, to when she had graduated from the exact same dental school, we were thinking, can you like throw us a bone? Do you have to be such
Like
a
you
bee?
get it.
Yeah, you get it. You were just
You
here.
know where we're at. The
Yeah.
store was closed. I already went through 25
And I like
teeth.
showed them all the teeth, and clearly I was struggling, and I was asking for help. And she's like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't know why you bothered making a temporary off this."
Oh,
That's what she said to me, and I burst into tears because I was tired because I'd been up since like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I like ran out of the room, and I like couldn't come back in, and she just moved on to the next students.
Oh, wow.
But then I saw a man dentist who's like literally one of my favorite humans to this day, found me in the hall, like got me to calm down. He apologized, and he's like, "That was maybe not how we handled this." Like, which I guess I was glad that he actually said that. Like, that's not how you should have handled that. It wasn't. And then he said he wanted me to come to him one-on-one, and like we'd practice the PFM together so that I could do a PFM.
Yeah.
Now, have I done a PFM in years? No, but like I could do a damn prep, like a good prep now. But you know, I needed to like practice it for a while. It just was.
That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you're in
you
school.
You don't need someone.
We
when
weren't
you're,
even
when
on a
you're not
patient.
feeling that great quite yet.
Yeah.
To just like.
This was on a. It was like
Kick
on,
you
like
while
if
you're
I
down.
prepped his teeth, you know, like it wasn't on a person.
Yeah. And she thought in her head somehow she making you a better dentist
Apparently.
by knocking you down.
Sick.
Sick, right?
Yeah, not right.
Crazy.
I mean, that screams dental school to you, though, right?
I'll tell you one better.
Yeah, it does.
I gotta remember we talked on episode, I don't remember which episode, but we talked about the Northeast Regional Board, and you have to do a 3-unit bridge temporized on it to pass. And we'd done it in pre-clinic, and I'd even done it on a real person. But in the weeks leading up to that live exam, I don't know if you have to do on Westerns, you have to do the same thing?
No. Well, you didn't when I took them, but you might now. They've changed some
Yeah,
of
they've
it.
changed it to dumb it down and make
unlike-
it woke. But back in the day when we had to take that test, so in the months leading up, so starting like April 1, test was like May 20th, every Friday you would go to the pre-clinic lab, all 100 of us, and they'd say, all right, begin, start, do practice.
Yeah.
And the first day out of the 100, only and they graded real hard on purpose.
Yeah.
20 passed, 80 failed. I failed.
Wow.
80
Just
failed.
to give you a little test anxiety before you take the actual test.
Next week, they're like, if you fail, the rule was if you fail, come back next Friday.
Jesus.
Otherwise, you get the Friday off. Second week come, 80 take it, 60 fail, 20 pass, 20 more pass. I am not ashamed to admit to the American dental public that David Galler failed every single week up until May 13th. And May 13th, at the end, when she looked at it, she went, yeah, whatever. Good luck next week. And then I took it.
Pity pass.
I passed. I
Pity
failed
pass.
7 times in a row.
Oh.
I don't even know what I was doing wrong.
They didn't
And
tell you? What
they
they
had,
didn't
like,
tell you? How do you
margin.
pass it? Yeah.
Margin,
Oh, God.
margin,
Bumpy.
I bump. But then I took the nerves, and I got a perfect day. And craziest story,
Yeah.
half the people who passed that first week failed.
That's interesting. That's an interesting statistic.
See?
But they got complacent. They got confident, whereas you were struggling right to the end, and you were really trying to bring your A game there.
Right?
I remember seeing
You and I are better at prepping bridges. That's what we have to say. From these horrible experiences, we are better
at prepping bridges.
at prepping bridges. So we should prep all the bridges.
We still let's call
Start
a
a
spade a
specialty.
spade.
I mean-
We both haven't prepped a bridge since 1936.
That's not true. I did one like 2 weeks ago.
You did one 2 weeks ago? So cute. Send me a picture.
Okay.
All right. Sunday night, kids are bouncing around. Chelsea lives on a golf course, just so that you know she's bougie. She lived on a golf course. And Sunday night, 5 o'clock, roll around. You get a little nervous?
Not as much anymore. But for years. Yeah.
5 o'clock around the right
Yeah.
time?
Especially if someone's coming in like mad on Monday and you already know about it.
Ooh.
Or like
Mad on
bad
Monday,
staff
I like it.
interaction.
Bad on Monday.
Mad on Monday.
Mad on Monday.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Or like bad staff interaction, right? Like someone on Thursday left pissed. I don't know. It's
Yep.
right? It's women,
Yep.
right? It's
Yes.
just what happens.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, I gotta go in the office on Monday and deal with Sally.
Yeah.
Deal
Right?
with that. And your happiness just go down a little bit. You know. And your husband's like, let's watch Netflix and order Chinese. And you're like, sorry, Chelsea wants to just look out the window.
I mean, I just do it and then I'm like on my phone, like thinking about
Thinking
like,
about it.
Yeah, thinking about
Yeah.
it like, tomorrow.
All right, you come in Monday, everything worked well, but you organized, so you're like, let me just look at the whole week. And on Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock, you see an appointment that says John Voldemort. What runs through your head?
You're like, oh God, is he mad?
He's mad.
Yeah.
It says,
Or you're like,
on the appointment, it says
You know John
he's
doesn't
mad.
come in happy.
That's what it says.
or it says like
He comes
retainer
in
check,
hot.
and you're like, why are they coming in for a retainer check?
Never a good, if you coming in for a
Never.
retainer check,
4 years
No.
later.
yeah, no, it's
You're
never
like,
good.
oh.
No.
No, never want to see that.
And then you're like panicking for the next
Panicking.
2 days because you're like,
Days.
Reliving or yeah.
2
Thinking
days you
about every
letting that
possible
run.
permutation of how that could go, and it's not going to do any of those things.
Why are
But you
so-
wasted all of that time, all of that bandwidth.
2 days you're worried. 2 days of life you're worried. Thinking about it. Making dinner
'cause
Tuesday
we're
night.
broken. You said we're broken. We're broken.
We are broken. Because everybody, no matter how successful you are, on a weekly basis, sometimes daily, feels a little.
Mediocre,
Mm-hmm.
right? We all
And
do.
this is the
We're
podcast where we talk
all
about it.
guilty
Do you want to
of
know
it.
what helped?
What?
Okay.
Drugs?
I thought she was
No,
going to say
I mean-
alcohol.
Oh, sorry, alcohol.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
No.
Like, if
actually-
you drink a lot Sunday night, it actually makes the pain go away.
So, like, well, personally, we had an issue getting pregnant, and I tried a lot of random things to get pregnant. And I went to a hypnotist, and
Ooh.
she took, like, she could feel that I was, like, anxious. Like, all this anxious was, like, magnified in my life. And so she actually identified, she's like, what things make you have, like, the sweats?
yeah.
And one of them was that bridge prep, and she took the emotion out of it. Like, she
Ooh.
spent time working with me.
Yeah?
And so now I get less. That's why I said I used to get worse. It used to
Okay.
be worse. Now Sunday night rolls around and it's like not good, but it's not as bad. You know?
I need this hypnotist because
Yeah,
Sunday
she's in
night,
Seattle. Come
I'd like
visit
to
her.
watch. I'd like to
David
watch
Gallup.
that happen. Yeah.
panicking.
It like reset, like that memory no longer holds the same trigger, like where you literally
Yeah.
like feel like the
I
sweats.
think that's
kind of.
great.
That's good. Oh, I like it. All right. You are in the midst of your empire, 6 offices rolling, looking to acquire more, trying
No.
to keep the P&Ls going. Get back to that, Chelsea. That version of Chelsea.
Oh, that one. Okay.
That version of Chelsea. Mergers and acquisitions. Killing it. The queen of northern Seattle. And you open up the newspaper and you see an advertisement for another dentist, and it vaguely says free whitening. What goes through your head?
I'm like, oh, are we offering free whitening? Do we offer free whitening? Do people want this? You have to
Because
like
you feel a
reflect
little,
on it.
would you say you felt a little, when you see another
Threatened.
advertisement,
Threatened.
or what we say here at this show, mediocre.
Yeah, I felt a little mediocre.
Anybody who advertises in the state of Washington makes Chelsea feel a little
Just a touch.
mediocre.
You see those nice ads? Like, don't they come in the mail here? Like, you get them in
Yeah.
the mail. Who's the
Oh,
mail?
yeah.
Okay, so my husband's the mail person, and he'd
Yeah.
be like, oh, do you think this is a good ad? And I'm like, I don't want to look at that.
Yeah.
Like, why are you showing me
No,
that?
don't give me
Like,
ideas. Yeah.
I'm like, throw it
Don't
out.
get into my head. Exactly.
Throw it
Burn
out.
it. Burn it.
How broken are we that we can't even look at an advertisement for another dentist makes us feel less than?
broken.
We're not even hiding it. We're not even bullshitting it. We're openly saying, I can't handle seeing another. I'm in Las Vegas now. I'm not even practicing here. When I see dental advertisements, I get nervous. I don't even have a practice here.
You're like, do I need an implant?
I
Am I gonna crack
was
a
like,
tooth?
this is a nice advertisement for a nice office. What's wrong with me? Why don't I have an office here?
That, and then if you happen to work in that area, you're just thinking, why I'm not doing that. Is that what we're doing again? I should be doing that. I'm not doing as much as somebody else.
Are they getting
It's
more
just
patients
constant
than us?
comparison.
Are
They're
they
getting
going to
more
their
patients than
office?
you.
Like, what are they?
Clearly.
Yeah.
But
We're
clearly
just-
they're not, because they're literally marketing. 'cause
Yes,
they're
this is
short.
true. This
So
is
it's
true.
like our brain just goes down a path that's
Because at the
inaccurate.
end of the day, we all just feel,
Mediocre.
Mediocre.
and now this is the podcast where we talk about it. Chelsea, you're doing some procedures. You're taking off a temp crown. And it's like on tight, real tight. You jostle it, not moving. You give it a good tug, and you hear, is there a little voice in that head, little girl's voice who goes, you broke the abutment, you broke the abutment, you broke the core, you broke the core. You have a pessimistic voice in your head for every
It's
dental
like,
procedure?
oh shit.
All the time? What's your procedure? Everybody got their procedure. That's mine. Removing temporary crowns.
Like, that one doesn't, well, because we have Glidewell mills now, so it's great. We don't really remove
Plug for Glidewell Mill, please. IO Glidewell IO Mill, please sponsor our podcast.
No need to have panic, because if you have a Glidewell mill, then you just put it in the same day and you don't put a temporary on. It's great.
Perfect.
Love it.
Like
Problem
de-stress,
solved.
de-stress, and save you chair time.
But everyone's got. You have the
I'm trying to
voice. What's
think.
she say?
Oh, it's the one that comes in with Invisalign and everything's lined up, and like, they aren't happy.
Ooh. The impossible to please.
Yes.
You
And
project.
then you're like,
Is it
what did I
not
do? Why did I
crazy?
take on this case? Like, what was I thinking? Because in your mind,
Yeah.
you're like, how are we going to fix this? Because it's like straight.
It is very hard to fix straight teeth.
It is.
So when they're mad, you're like, interesting. How do we fix
And they're
this?
never as happy as the person who had like jacked teeth, and even if it's comes like way short
Even if
of
they're
perfection,
still little crowded, they're like,
they're
it's
so
amazing.
happy. Best dentist ever. Yeah, makes no sense.
Before your hypnotism happiness, how often did you check overhead income?
That was my husband, so I didn't have to look at that. But he'd tell me like,
Well delegated.
He would tell you.
he would be like, you need to make more money.
Isn't that worse, maybe?
No.
Now you have your husband's disappointment and your own professional disappointment all wrapped up into one.
I don't know. It was personally easier for me because I don't, P&L's like, I can't, I get it, but I don't get it. And he's the money person.
Oh,
So
my
when he'd
Lord.
say like, just like, here's how you fix this. Just make more money. I was like, okay, goal. I can do
I
that.
can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Well, you have
Do
a sister
more.
here
You
on
found
set.
her.
Because my little angel doesn't know how to read a P&L sheet.
I
And
know-
doesn't want to.
I don't, because I know
No
there
desire.
is no happiness there for me. If I
Numbers
get
don't
to the
make me
point,
happy.
teeth make me happy, people make me happy. Numbers.
So who does the P&L? You?
He doesn't. Nobody looks at it. 1, 2, 3. I'm part of
The office manager just pays us a salary. And
Okay,
she's like,
so
here's
what
some
about
money for
when
you
like the check,
take at the end of the
What about when
day.
the payroll bounces out of the account?
It hasn't happened.
Okay,
Knock
so
on
that's
wood.
good.
It's
Then you're
happening
doing
next
well.
week.
Then you're doing enough.
I know that if I'm paying
Guess
bills,
who's doing
I'm
better?
happy.
The
You know-
office manager who's embezzling.
Right? That's true.
Why
You know
plant
what's an
that
OSHA
seed?
moment? If your payroll ever bounces out of the account because you
Oh.
like miscalculated.
Oh.
Usually that
Oh.
happens in associate offices because
Oh.
they don't.
Saturday emergency.
Okay.
Calls, hits you on the phone. Hey, Chels, that filling from Tuesday, I'm still sensitive. You're like, all right, come in Monday morning, 8, just come on in. I'll take a look at it. Thanks, Dr. Chelsea. Hang up the phone. How long are you thinking about that? What's your next move after the hang
Couple
up?
hours.
Couple hours. You log in.
No.
You drive over to the office, look at the x-rays.
No. We could log in. I could log in.
Do you?
No.
Read your notes?
No.
Are you thinking about
I
it?
usually would know. So like I have a pretty good memory. So if it was like Tuesday and it wasn't like 10 weeks ago Tuesday, I'd probably remember.
But you thinking about it Tuesday? You thinking about the rest of Saturday?
Like a couple hours at least until like something else, you know, we're like moved on to the next thing.
Till the next patient calls?
To the next fire. No.
Until somebody gives notice? Till they say one of the offices is flooded?
Yeah, all that.
Okay, 6
I've
offices.
had that happen.
Talk to us, because we love floods. We love floods and the fact
Roof
that dental
leaks.
offices
The
flood.
roof leaks.
Ooh, just as bad.
The
Yeah.
roof leaks.
Yep.
The office ones. You know when I was, I had just given birth to my first child, a water heater broke and flooded the office at one of our other offices. I was literally in the recovery room with tiny baby next to me, and my husband's answering and triaging how to
Actually let you know.
well,
or to
like
let you know.
I could like hear him.
Or
Like he was
like,
just like right there.
Be
Like,
there for you. Be there for the office.
well, I think we had the manager handle it, but they like couldn't get a hold of her for some reason because it was like a Friday or something. I don't remember, but I was like obviously
Yeah. You were
yes, and so
incapacitated,
I just remember they like called him, and so he's like, well, pick up all the computers that are on the ground that might be near the water
That's
so that
exactly.
they don't fry.
Exactly.
And
Thank
they're
you.
like, oh, okay, and then you know,
No, they don't think that.
it was
How many times have you dealt with a flood? Not the great flood, which we just heard about.
maybe 5.
5
Holy shit.
All like
5 flood. What is with dental offices and floods?
okay, so in Seattle, we have like outdoor supply closets, and then if it freezes, you know, you're in Vancouver,
yeah,
like it doesn't, we don't really get that freezing weather, but like most of the supply closets are outside, or the like vacuum and stuff.
Yep.
So our vacuum, there were like years where it would like drop a little bit colder, and then the vacuum would freeze, and then when it goes to turn back on, the pipes explode. It's super fun.
Yeah.
That causes major flood in the office.
Floods,
Or
right?
like
What
our
breaks
roof
your
is a
spirit more
flat
than a
roof.
flood?
Flat roof leaks, and then
Maybe a
all the
fire.
employees are like, "Is there mold in here? Is there mold in here? Are you trying to kill me? Are you trying to kill me?" And you're
Yeah.
like, "No, there's not mold in here.
Oh.
Please go do your job. If
Yeah.
you don't want to be in the break room, you don't have to be in the break room.
Yeah.
It's not part of your, you know."
Yeah, exactly.
It always
Not mandated.
floods in like one corner.
Yeah.
You walk by the lunchroom, and Betty, Veronica, and Jill, receptionist, assistant, and office manager, are all talking. And as you walk into the break room, they stop talking. What's the first thing in your head?
We're talking about me.
I think this is so much more relevant for women.
I think
for
that's a women
female
thing, yeah.
Practitioners, because I don't
You
know that
wouldn't
it
think
happens.
that. You'd think they're talking about something like
Yeah.
inappropriate,
Yeah,
or like about their
women time.
husbands.
No,
or
I
like,
think
yeah.
it's women issues.
Yeah.
I think that the women staff tend to talk more about a female boss than a male boss. I think we get more flack.
We're mean.
We're mean. We're bitches.
He's just
You
a
could be-
dude.
That's what I'm saying. He walks into the office and everyone's like, "Oh, hi, David." Everything's hunky dory.
Maybe it's just because I'm charming and handsome, and I buy
She's
lunch
not
for everybody.
charming and handsome.
Not to women.
Oh, she-
Women are catty with her. Women are not happy for her beauty.
Oh,
Not as much as the male population.
oh my God, you make me sick. Okay.
Chelsea, do you ever no charge patients?
yeah.
Why?
Because I'm scared they're gonna be mad.
Because at the end of the day,
Somehow it's my fault,
Because
even though
that's-
it's not my fault.
because at the end
You
of the
lost
day,
your night guard. How is that my fault? It's not my fault.
And
But-
I know, but
but
we do
they
it. Why do
know-
we do it?
the truth.
But happiness tax. Like I've learned from you, there's some things that I'm like, if I just no charge it and then I dismiss them,
Yep.
is that worth more of my sanity on my Saturday night?
Smart. That's healthy.
Happiness tax.
Yeah.
It's true. I
Yeah.
buy that. All right. Sometimes you want to be happy, it's going to cost money.
I just am like, it's not worth it. Like literally, take your money back and go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like give them their
Sign-
money
and
back
you're,
and keep
you're signing
treating
a
them.
release and
Yes,
everything. Yeah,
please.
you're making this is a legal transaction.
You no
Goodbye.
longer get seen here. And
Yeah.
sometimes they're like, wait, what?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
you're like, well, okay, you want your money
Yeah,
back.
no, they
And then,
still
like,
want it. That's like the weirdest, right?
yes. Or they
It's
like
like-
wrote you a bad review but still want to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one. That's a pathology,
Oh, we're
right?
done.
You
We're
hate
done.
us. Why are
Yeah,
you here?
Exactly.
You said how much you hate us online. You wrote it in like paragraph form.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think
Great
it's important.
syntax. Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that people suck. It's good. It's our motto for our office, actually.
Okay.
It's our mission statement.
Don't get upset because people suck.
Yeah, don't get
It's a good-
upset.
it's a
People
good
suck.
mission
That's what we expect.
Yeah.
Have you or any of your associates or any of your offices ever done a TikTok / Instagram dance to get more patients?
My associate in our Seattle office he does a lot of TikTok dances. And apparently he got in trouble for swinging from one of the light fixtures
Oh,
on another
geez.
recent
Okay.
TikTok, if you follow him on TikTok. He's an excellent TikToker though.
Yeah, I do follow him on Instagram, and he is incredible deadpan comedy.
Yeah, and
Really?
you know who
Let's
he
give
made
it
really mad?
at Bodangle.
At Bowden Slagle.
At
Or
Bowden Slagle.
at Dr. Bowden Slagle.
Bowden
Dr.
Slagle. We should have him on the phone.
Yeah.
He was a runner-up to be co-host. I just want to be perfectly up and honest about that.
That's
He was
right.
runner-up to be co-host. He
Come
beat him
on
out by
down.
a hair.
Because I was free.
He's really funny.
He likes to make the hygienist really mad too.
I know, me too. We have a similar sense of humor. I really
Yeah.
love him. I met him twice.
They all
okay.
hate on him on TikTok. And then they all follow him. And then when we have a team event like at Study Club, they all know who he is.
Ooh.
They all like walk up to him and ask for a picture with him. Like this is like all the hygienists.
He's a celebrity.
Even though they're like secretly are like writing in bad comments.
They love to hate him.
And he takes it very like, it must roll off his back better than it does for some of us. I don't know.
Good for him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. We haven't gotten any mail yet, but I'm sure we'll get hate mail at the mediocredentist@gmail.com. We have almost, of the 10 people that listen to us, I think one of them is going to be upset and they might write an email. So
It's possible.
mediocredentist@gmail if you're unhappy. Or if you're happy, and hygienistofamerica@gmail if you're unhappy. Okay. 2 more questions for you. You've been great. There's a running segment that we have here on the show called David is Right, Andrea's Wrong.
It's going
I'd
to go
like
my
you to-
way. This is
it's-
going my way. You got the last one.
You're always wrong.
Yeah. Well, it has to do
Better
with
use
basic
that.
Right.
dental
Did you know
work.
that?
Don't let
Who
me
knows
down
more
here, Chelsea.
about how a dental office works than Chelsea? So,
I
Chelsea,
know.
I'm going to give you a
I
handpiece.
know.
I'm putting a burr
I'm a
in
little nervous.
right here.
Okay.
And I'm going to need you to prep, other way around, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to need you to prep tooth number 1936, as they say in Canadian. Patient's numb, you're leaning back, loops are on, everything's good, lights working, compressor's working. You step on the rheostat, and instead of hearing, you hear, what do we do? What does Chelsea do?
I take the handpiece off because we have electric handpieces. So I take the top part off and then hit the rheostat again and see if like air just blows out the
No,
other
it's turning.
part.
Yeah, it's turning. Everything's
And
good.
then like it's turning. So then I like give a dust stare to my assistant. Like you
Death
gave me a
stare.
handpiece
Ooh, I
that
like
doesn't
this.
work.
Blame.
Yeah.
Place blame. I like it. I like it.
Right? Like you put this handpiece on here. And they
Yeah.
know. They're like,
But
oh, shit.
how could we, any other moves to kickstart the handpiece?
I think you're supposed to like, some people will hit the burr. I don't personally do that.
Oh,
Oh,
come on.
that's my girl. I knew
Come
it.
on.
Putting your hand anywhere near a
I
burr.
had an employee like really cut herself.
Thank you.
What? It works
Thank you.
5
Hard,
out of
like,
10 times.
Cut
Yeah.
and like, oh, but you know where I do kickstart the burr? On a slow speed. So
I've
not
never-
on a
okay.
high
I've
speed,
never
but I
done it
would
on
do
a
it on
slow
a slow speed.
We're each going to take a point there.
Okay,
Yeah.
very simple. If that ever happens, just give the burr a little half turn and it kicks in.
But ours are usually like the turbine's gone out because it's an electric handpiece. So
yeah,
it's not
slightly
actually
different.
as, it's
Yeah.
different from the ones that, like I'm in a Tucker Gold study club too. And those ones are air driven. And when I go to that to the school, like to the dental school, which is like traumatic in itself. But like when you go there to work on a patient and you're like, oh, there's professors around here. They work differently. And I maybe would kickstart it there, but I still would not
But
say
you know
it's
of
safe.
it a little bit. It's not urban
It's
legend.
not worth it to me.
It's not an urban legend, but I wouldn't do it.
We each get a point.
Seems dangerous.
No, seems
Yeah.
dangerous, which is my point. So we each get a
And
point.
I would really tell my employees, do not do that. I'd specifically tell them not to do that. If I chose to use my
Sounds like
fingers, like, you know,
Exactly.
Chelsea, you work in a lot of offices. You're sometimes popping in, popping out, covering here, covering there. Two-part question. Do you have favorite instruments? And B, do you hide instruments?
no
For
hiding.
yourself.
No,
Ever?
because they know.
You
Well, we
never
have,
hide anything?
I hide the filler.
Ooh, as you should.
It's locked in my office.
Huh.
Because staff
But they
would
couldn't stick
jack
it in.
themselves
I mean,
up.
they've
Oh,
all
you
been
think that they would
employees for a
take it
long
somewhere?
time, but I don't know if someone would take it. That's just
Okay.
the one
And
thing.
it's
Like, it's
expensive.
expensive
Like,
and it's
that's-
easy to like slide in your pocket and slide out the door,
I
right?
might
Like,
be more like one excavator that you really like. You don't want to
No.
put it back with the gen pop.
no, and I have specific instruments like for BioClear and other things, and they're like, they're all labeled. Actually, we spent some time during COVID, I think, like labeling literally everything to go in separate setups. So like my associate doctor has her specific setups, I have my specific setups, and they're really, really well labeled. So no one really like overlaps anything unless you get a new employee. Then
Yeah, fair enough.
Last question.
no need. Who hides the stuff?
We both do.
Oh,
both
I don't
do.
have to.
You're
My
hoarders.
assistant does it.
Yeah, I'm a
for
hoarder.
me.
I just
do you
need-
hide stuff from him here too?
I would.
She does.
I would.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Where's my
Well,
toothbrush?"
I'm very
And you're
competitive
She
with him.
doesn't,
I don't want him to excel.
In
It's
the New
weird,
York
it's for
home,
the
she
same-
didn't like the tablecloth that I had.
Ooh.
So she hit it.
She hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valid.
Can I? Quick story.
Yeah.
Tell me what you would do if your husband is the one who picked out the furniture for our new place. Okay.
Okay.
Cute little condo on a beach.
Okay.
I enter said house, and at my kitchen table 4 chairs, okay? Where did he get them from?
He went to IKEA?
He went to, that would have been a great answer, because then
Okay.
they'd probably all 4 look the same.
Yeah.
He went to Etsy, something like this, and he bought 4 airplane chairs from 4 different
Well, okay,
aircrafts
wait.
with the seatbelt still intact.
And the trays
But
come
he
down.
Trays come
he
down.
knows that I have airplane chairs in my house.
Oh, welcome
Purchased
to
by my
Team
husband
David.
During COVID.
You set
The
me up.
coolest. She has
That's
ones that are
bullshit.
actually like a bench. She has
They're
them
like-
connected.
Oh, Jesus.
She has them
You know, like
connected.
the business seats that had little flip up when
Yeah.
you would go Seattle to New
Yeah,
York.
we're
like back
buying
in
that
the day.
now. Oh yeah, we get that. Next time you come to the set, that's all you're
You
gonna find
endorsed
here.
that. You're
I
okay.
allowed it, and they were in our
allowed it.
house. And then there is a lovely like print of the
Yeah.
airplane they came off from. And my kids love to practice putting their seatbelts on. And so
As
now,
does my daughter. My daughter, much to my chagrin, feels the same way. I told them I got 1 sniff of those things, and I was like, I'm going to
they
literally.
kind of smell like airplane seats,
They
but ours
do?
ours were never
Best.
in use.
One of them even has a life vest underneath it.
Okay, ours doesn't, but it's like literally from a demo plane from Boeing, and we found it from this guy. This is my husband's like secret. It's not so secret. Everyone knows that he is a
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace fiend. So we have like an old school Coke dispenser, like where you can put cans in
Oh,
and like
cool.
bottles.
Okay,
And
I
like,
could get behind that.
yes,
I could
that's in
get
our
behind
garage.
that.
He will like go buy random things. In fact, I have a friend who's like, did this come from Marketplace? Like she'll come into our house and be like,
And
what
can
did this buy?
identify.
And it's always Marketplace. He doesn't do OfferUp. He
I
doesn't
love
do
this.
Etsy. It's from Marketplace.
I love
and he
it.
like negotiates it down.
I'm literally excited for when you come to New York and your kids get to sit in our airplane chairs
They
around
would
our
be
dining
so
room
excited.
table. One of
But
them
they
even has a
practice.
TV in the back of it.
They like literally practice getting the seatbelts on, and they
'Cause
like
they're
play
good
with their
kids.
friends in it, and they like think
I
it's
know
super fun.
that the younger generation can get behind this crazy shit, but this is not.
It
This is
isn't-
not a fashion
Okay,
statement.
but
this is weird.
I would say it's
It is
not
odd.
normal
It's
that you have
impossible
them
to
as your
master.
dining room chairs. We do not have them as our
They
dining
roll
room chairs.
around.
They're
It's-
additional
They're
chairs.
smacking into walls. Like they're just a menace.
Everyone who comes in makes them happy.
No, they're just saying that. You know how
I mean, you spend a lot of
no.
time on an airplane, so it probably
I
makes
do,
you happy.
so-
You
I'm
should
like,
want
I
to
feel at
get
home.
away from that. Switch
No,
it
I
up
want
a
to feel
little
at
bit.
home. My home
Does
is
it
an
smell?
airplane.
Were they actually from an airplane?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
like
like
an
people,
old.
okay, because
like
like
an
ours,
old,
it was on an
dilapidated
airplane, but it wasn't. It was like not one used in circulation. with
One
people.
was one's from Delta, one's from Southwest.
Yeah.
There's a Northwestern there.
Try
But sorry,
finding
He gets
a
a point because like I
tablecloth.
allowed it to my husband. I allowed my husband to buy.
You're a
these.
better wife than I.
And I think I actually went and helped him like put them in the truck. So like.
Chelsea's a good person, and not in the least bit mediocre. All right, Chelsea.
not go my way.
How often does Chelsea? Young people are watching this,
Okay.
and they're like, "Wow, I wish I could be like Chelsea one day." Despite her bridge in third year that was not up to snuff.
It's not up to snuff, but it's
But-
probably good now.
Probably good now. But young people are watching this and they're like, how often does Chelsea feel mediocre? Once a day, once a week, once a month, or once a year?
I'd say like a couple times a week,
Couple times a week.
and it might not always be in dentistry. Like you feel,
Business.
or just like personal life.
HR.
Like your
Yeah.
kids don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have a lot of kids. You guys have a lot of kids.
We do. Almost
And
20.
like
Brady Bunch.
you're like, I have been teaching you this for 6 years, and somehow you still can't tie your shoe. Like, what is the
Yeah.
issue? Like,
Yeah,
you're like,
one of
I
our
feel
kids-
mediocre as a
As a
parent.
parent.
yeah.
That one
So it's
line's
not
different
just
too.
This is-
like,
yeah,
it's just
no.
not in dentistry. It's like all things, and then you're like, why
Mediocre.
can I excel in my professional life? And
Yeah.
my kids can't.
Yeah, that's truth. All right, everyone. Thanks very much. Hope to see you next time on The Mediocre Dentist.
The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. 'Cause sometimes you just feel mediocre. The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. I am mediocre, you are mediocre, and that's not that bad.